I welcome y'all back to the Super Smash Project. It is now roughly 1 year since I started this channel. It also happens to be the day of my birthday. So I thought it would be kind of a fun, just informational idea to go through whatever games that I will not be covering as part of the project. Starting with any SimCity game not published by Nintendo. SimCity launched as a launch title for the Super Nintendo. That version was indeed published by Nintendo, but no other SimCity was published by Nintendo. Most of them, if not all of them, were published by EA. EA is not Nintendo. Admittedly, I love SimCity. I love simulation games, but unfortunately, because most of them are not published by Nintendo, despite Will Wright constantly being referenced in Super Smash Bros., I will not be covering any other SimCity. Next would be Mega Man Soccer. I do not care about Mega Man Soccer. Half the time, I forget it even exists. I think half the time, most people forget it even exists. Yeah, I just don't really see any need to cover Mega Man Soccer. I don't find it particularly necessary. It's just, it just kind of exists, and there are no other Mega Man Soccer games. In fact, there aren't really very many other Mega Man spin-off games that aren't like platformers and the like. So I don't care about Mega Man Soccer. Next, Professional Baseball Spirits Series. This was an exclusive Japanese baseball game series, kind of similar to MLB The Show, except it features mostly Japanese baseball teams and was a little bit more arcadey. This game is indeed, these games are indeed referenced in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a spirit, but with it being kind of similar to MLB The Show, with multiple games, like a game every single year, and not really much difference between them except like roster or like the graphics. I don't really see a need to go through them. To be fair though, I'm actually a pretty big baseball guy. This is not a snub of baseball in general. I like baseball much more than a lot of other sports. But I just don't really care so much for this one. Any Virtual Boy game. They just hurt my damn eyes. I tried playing, some Virtual Boy games, just kind of testing the waters a little bit. I really could not stand it. That's not to say that the games are necessarily bad if you aren't looking at like a pure red screen, a bright red screen. But, yeah, it just kind of hurts my eyes. And it's unfortunate because Zotero Boxer, that is a spirit in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Then you have, Wario Land, you have Mario Clash, you have Mario's Tennis, which would usually classify as a Mario sports game. But yeah, I'm not covering them because I don't want to risk my eyes hurting. I'm sure there is a way to make it so that's more black and white, but why take the risk? The Chocobo Racing series and the Chocobo Mystery Dungeon series. These are just kind of spin-offs to the main Final Fantasy games, and these are spin-offs where there are very few and far between, and I don't really care for them. I don't really know what they're about other than kind of just using the mascot chocobos in like these adventures and stuff. I just don't care for them. I know Chocobo is, you can dress up as a Chocobo in Super Smash Bros., but I don't really see the need to go through Chocobo Racing or Chocobo Mystery Dungeon. Taiko no Tatsujin series. This was a series of like these taiko drum games, and it is referenced as part of the Namco Roulette, which was one of Pac-Man's taunts. And yeah, this is a game that's kind of in the vein of like DDR, where you have so many games in such a short span of time, and you know, it's just kind of different music mostly. And also, on top of that, while there are some ports, like, you know, on the PS2 and stuff like that, I do feel like the real way to play Taiko no Tatsujin, if I ever want to play it, is in a real arcade. I think playing it on, like, the PS2 does not do it justice. So yeah, as I mentioned also, like, in that rant, DDR, I'm obviously not going to cover for similar reasons as to why I'm not covering the other SimCity games. There is a Mario DDR game, which I will be covering as part of the project. But the other DDR games, no. Mario Kart DX, as well as its sequel, I actually love these arcade games. But kind of similar to Taiko no Tatsujin, the real way to play it, really the only real way to play it, is in an actual arcade. Supposedly, maybe you can emulate it, but, you know, I want to have the whole shebang, and I'm not going to be able to. If I have to emulate it. So, unfortunately, no. Obviously, I am going through the Mario Kart games, just not those ones. Any Final Fantasy VII spin-off, for the most part, I don't really see, kind of similar to like Chocobo Racing or Chocobo Mystery Dungeon, I don't really see any need to go through them. I feel like they don't really add much. They're just simply capitalizing on the popularity of Final Fantasy VII. And yeah, it's just, they're cash grabs. That's typically what they are. Kind of like the, you know, Final Fantasy VII remakes, but I will be going through the Final Fantasy VII remakes because I feel like they add enough to Final Fantasy VII to warrant it. So yeah. Pushmo World. Now, I did fortunately manage to find a way to emulate a lot of those like eShop games that are unfortunately no longer available, and that includes almost all of the Pushmo games. So yay. But unfortunately, I was unable to find a ROM of Pushmo World, which was a Wii U eShop exclusive. It just seems to be one of those like really rare games that I don't know if anybody talks about it or not. I mean, if anybody sends me like a link to like a ROM or it gives me information on finding a ROM, maybe I'll go through it, but yeah, I'm just having a really hard time trying to find it. Last but definitely least, any mobile game. I do not care for those iPhone games. I think they're just like a whole different kind of beast than what I like, than what I'm familiar with. And a lot of them are almost like it's gambling. Like, you know, you spend money for a lot of like cosmetics and stuff like that. And I do know that, you know, little kids, they go steal credit cards to just get a whole bunch of like mobile game stuff. I'm not the biggest mobile guy, and on top of that, like, I don't know how I would be able to actually record it other than like physically record it with like another iPhone, so I'm not even going to bother. Well, anyway, this has been just a short look at all the games that I in no way going to cover as far as I am aware. There's always a potential for, change to my list. But for right now, this is it. Well, I thank you guys for sticking with me all the way through if you made it this far. And happy birthday to me, and happy birthday to you for whenever your birthday is. And I hope you have the time of your life whenever's your birthday. I'll see you guys around for whenever my next stream is, or for whenever my next uploads are. Toodles.